This is Yakitah, El-Bey, and Aline El-Bey's Gallery of Black Historical Portraits. And we teach about the history of our heroes and sheroes. The theme today on our grand opening starts with my favorite, which is Dr. Sabi, and he's one of my favorite icons, because he was into holistic healing, and I was in holistic healing for several years. Started in the 70s, I started studying it, and he was able to beat the system, and I love that. Coming down to Angela Davis, which is one of my favorite icons for a sister, because she was not only a member of the Black Panthers, but she was an intelligent sister who was in college studying law, and she challenged them on several occasions, and she beat the system. So she's another one who beat the system, which makes me very proud of her. And coming this way, I'm looking at, I love to talk about this brother, John Henson, because everybody only knows Obama as our first Black president, which is not true. But I can understand why they think that way, because that's what the system wants us to know. But John Henson was our very first Black president of the country. Now, very few people know about it because it wasn't taught in school. Then we have all our other famous people here, like Ida B. Wells, who was the first female millionaire. She was the first one to do hair, come up with a hair product for us, and she was also, you might say, a revolutionist too. She helped in the fight for women's rights, and which also spearheaded the white women's suffrage rights. Then we have James Baldwin here, with a biography of him written up there, born in 1924, passed in 87. James Baldwin, I loved his accent. He spoke as though he was from another place. I believe he could speak more than one language. But James Baldwin was a playwright, a novelist as well. And of course, everybody knows Maya Angelou. And Maya Angelou was famous for her book that she wrote, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. So she's another one of our favorite icons, but something that the children should get to know about. Harriet Tubman, they talk about the Underground Railroad, but do a lot of people really understand what the Underground Railroad was? It wasn't that they rode on a train underground. But to keep this very short, you have to come to some of our workshops where we will be able to teach the whole history. This table here presents many more of our heroes and sheroes and icons. We have John Henry Clark, Dr. John Henry Clark, Professor John Henry Clark. The way we used to dance in the days of jazz in the clubs, like at the Cotton Club and so forth, this represents, this is a painting of how we used to get down back in the day, or my parents did. And as we move along here, again, another jazz musician, saxophonist. Everybody was crazy about their called Clinton the Black president because he knew how to blow a horn, but here's your real horn blowers. Again, we got singers here. This depicts a female African warrior type. We have a lot of sisters that we can call our warriors today. They may not dress this way, but this represents the image of what our spirit would be like. Michael Jackson up here is a very special, unique one, because this is not something that you can walk in the store and buy today. Michael with his afro as a young kid, wearing the afro, the real Michael Jackson, before all the transition took place. And a lot of our children don't know about him looking like that in the day. That was in my little kid's time. And then we have Moors here. We will be teaching our people about being Moors. To be a Muslim is to be a Moor. To be a Moor is to be a Muslim. Of course, you have Obama, as I said, who was not the first president, but the 44th, but not the first, and his wife, Michelle. We have the Buffalo Soldiers here. Picture depicting the Buffalo Soldiers. Again, a real historic. What do you know about the Buffalo Soldiers? Who were the Buffalo Soldiers? And what did they do? Did you know they were bounty hunters? And they were bounty hunters for whom? Your own people. That's a story, and that's going to be a class that you're going to have to learn about as well. So if you visit Aline's and y'all's gallery of historical Black portraits, you'll come to learn more about that as well. Again, we have Michael Jackson from Billie Jean And when they put him on the Times magazine, that's a special edition, not to be found unless you order the Time magazine to get this cover of Michael Jackson. I love this one especially here because this shows the transition of Michael. It's like a collage, but it shows the transition of Michael Jackson going from his afro with the derby on, with the apple hat, making the transition, coming this way with the straight hair and so forth, going around here, and then that way. And then in the center is where he was last when his face became almost Caucasian type. And again, we have Langston Hughes, who was also a playwright and a writer. And then more of our Moors on the floor here. And we have the messenger of Allah, which is Elijah Muhammad, very famous and popular person. Very much responsible for our people beginning to know who we were as a people. So I contribute that to him. So if you visit here, we have a lot of things to share. We have incenses here made from our Salam store. We have carried many different fragrances of that. We have fragrances, imported oils from Morocco, body oils here. So there's a display of many things here, as well as our thrift shop next door, which is called the Ray of Sunshine Thrift Store, and we are all affiliates of Ray of Sunshine. So visit us here. Look us up, and you'll see our advertisement on the YouTube as well as on Ray of Sunshine's website.
Beautiful.